ideal world is that every human being on planet Earth holds the keys to their own Bitcoin. I go, yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. But that also comes with the caveat that, at least 10% of those people, if 8 billion people are holding Bitcoin, at least 10% of them need to be running a node.
Yep.
So if you're listening right now and you're not running a node, please start. Start9 as a plug and play, super easy option. You can go get a future bit miner and you can lotto mine and run your own node. Or you can just go through all the miner hassle of trying to figure all this nonsense out and build your own little node and get it running. But come on, man. It's like,
it's easy.
If you wanted to fight for freedom in 1776, you had to go. Like, what's that comedian? He said, imagine that. Like, I'm going to go fight for freedom. What's that mean? Oh, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk for about 2 months so I can get to this other place so I can start shooting at some guy who's standing in a line. And then I'm going to walk somewhere else and we're going to do it again. And it's going to suck the whole time. And, I'm not going to have socks and my boots are going to have holes in them and I'm going to have to shoot rabbits to eat. And so fighting for freedom was a real pain in the ass in 1776. Fighting for freedom today means like you go buy, transfer, and then run a node. And you go like, wow, what a burden. Like, can you imagine future generations? Oh, that was the greatest generation ever. What'd they do? They took self-custody and they ran a node and they spent and replaced. Oh my God, what a sacrifice. Like, come on, man. Like, get on board, run a node. That's my spiel.
I just imagine
if there's going to be someone's going to clip this, clip that, run a node. Dang it.
Take self-custody and run a node.
Yeah,
I just imagine a future where, future generations are like, wow, back at the turn of the century-ish, Grandpa ran a node and took self-custody. Unbelievable. Wow. Anyway.
Yeah, those stories aren't coming. Like,
oh, darn it.
No one gives a shit if you set up a computer, right? But
they won't know how
you are contributing more than you would if you were a rifleman in Washington's army. Running a node is contributing more to that revolution than Washington's rifleman, because that guy only had one shot. He was probably malnourished, and he probably got smoked from disease before he actually got to contribute anything, So
foot rot.
Yeah, got himself some foot rot or some mouth rot or some dysentery or some God knows what. I mean, that was a rough time. Yeah. Right now, you can just fire up a node and go like, hey, well, I've got a vote now. You're a voting member of the network, so congratulations. I mean, it just boggles my mind, man. It just drives me crazy. Like, I don't know why we have so many speculators and so few nodes. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah, people get into Bitcoin based on they join for the number go up. And then hopefully if they stay on that path and pay attention, they stay for the bloodless revolution.
Well, but the numbers would belie that is not true, right? Because I see a lot of people say, man, I'm a Bitcoiner, I'm a maxi, I'm a this, I'm a that, and I'm a blah, 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 blah. And I go, how come there's still only 20,000 nodes? Because I see a lot more of these people flooding into the space, but I don't see a lot more node. I don't see that node count just ramping up every year. Like, there should be a very clear positive growth trajectory on that node count. It's not. It's been flatlined for a decade. So you go, well, where's all these maxis? All these people that are hardcore Bitcoiners that are, where are the nodes? I don't see them. I don't see a bunch of new nodes coming online. So what's going on? Like, what's happening? And like, while people are bitching and pissing and moaning about spam and knots and this and that and the other thing, I'm like, nobody's running a node. It doesn't matter if you want to fix that problem, it's not by calling each other names, it's by running nodes. It's by convincing people to run nodes, and then they can decide for themselves, and then whatever decision they make will matter. But right now, just saying like anybody that doesn't support my idea is a shitcoiner and a fucking apologist or whatever names that, I mean, they've just chilled speech in that whole space. You literally can't say anything now without offending at least one side that will just very vocally call you out and pillory you. Even if you have a conscientious objection to whatever it is they're saying or parroting or, espousing. So, like when you start seeing that kind of chill on speech, you go, I'm not going to participate in this anymore. But what I can do is just go fire up a node. And I think Eric Voskuil is creating another version of the Bitcoin software. It's going to be pretty freaking awesome, man. It's called LibBitcoin. When he's finally done, I mean, he's been working on it for a decade. If MicroSeed actually takes off, I'm just going to dump a big chunk of money on that guy's lap so he can develop it faster. I don't know, but I think that'd be great, man. We'll have another implementation of the Bitcoin software code, and that would, do a lot. And then maybe we'll just start,
Another
depending on
good
how.
node to run. Yeah.
Yeah. Run a
If,
node.
if there's anything that,
Run a
when
node.
Besant's talk came out and he was saying what he was saying, and people were speculating about price about it, what it motivated me to do was to get a little bit I had in a higher liquidity Bitcoin wallet. I took self-custody. I was like, I mean, I do self-custody 99%, but something like that for me, it's not like about the price or the government reserve anything. Is like, I'm gonna get more in self-custody right now. Just as a reminder, not that I'm worried about anything right now. It's just, no, I got to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Self-custody.
Yeah. Take self-custody, run a node, spend and replace. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Boom, bang, boom. That should be the name of the episode. That should be the name of every episode of Bitcoin Liberty Live. Self-custody, run a node, spend and replace, episode number 68.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
Episode
that's,
68.
What do you think? Like, why is no one talking about this? Like, I don't see anybody. Like, the most acute problem we have in the Bitcoin space right now is mining concentration, right? Like, and I've talked to luminaries in the space. I asked Adam back in person in BTC Prague 2 years ago, hey, mining centralization seems like a problem. What do we do about that? And he goes, yeah, that's a problem. I don't know. I went, oh, well, shit, you know everything about Bitcoin and you don't know. So that sounds like a problem to me.
Yeah.
And so what I've learned in the 2 years since is you go, well, there's not a lot you can do about that because of economies of scale and things like that. And people go, oh, just, send some hash to Ocean. It's like, okay, that's a cute idea until you run the numbers and you go, oh, it's never going to be like home miners are going to like fix the mining centralization problem. It's just not going to happen. Like, you would have to rewire every house of every Bitcoiner, and they would have to max out the capacity of that rewired house that can run industrial electricity to even make a 20% dent in the mining, which would mean they would be running like buckets of hash, So, a bunch of guys spinning up like bit axes and shit like that just isn't, it's like that's going to account for 0.6% of the global hash. So you go, oh yeah, we're making a difference. What you can very easily do, though, is run a node, because at least you have a say in what software implementation goes out. You at least have a say of whether or not something forks. You at least have a say in any number of things that you can't do if there's only 20,000 nodes, of which only 6,000 are economically meaningful, meaning like if those 6,000 nodes go one way, that's where the protocol is going, period. End of discussion, end of story. Because there's 8 million speculators and they don't give a shit about any of this stuff. They just care if the number keeps going up and it's still called Bitcoin. And that's the one they're going to go, oh, that's what it says on my Kraken balance. So that must be Bitcoin.
Right.
Never mind if they add like OFAC compliance and, KYC and all this other shit into the protocol, which they very easily could. But that can't happen if there's 8 million nodes and 20,000 speculators. You see how that works? So
right.
I'm on a rant. I'm on a soapbox. And, hey, if the clip guy is watching this, clip this too. Like, we're run a freaking node. Christ almighty. Ugh.
Yeah.
Right,
even a lot of Adam Beck's posts are very much about fiat number speculation stuff. And I mean, not that there's not interesting things to say about it or to know about it, but Beck will get kind of focused on that realm. And some of the big Bitcoiners, it's kind of like, I wonder if they run nodes or if they're more into the business of the derivative business around Bitcoin. I don't know.
Well, you see it happening right in front of you. Like Mahler's just went and joined a freaking, treasury, whatever. I don't know, whatever that Goliath thing he's created is.
21.
Yeah. So you look at it and you go, I'm a Bitcoiner. You go, yeah, well, if you just remember the rules of the game, there's only one rule: capture and control as many resources as you can. And there are no other rules. So what's he doing?
Lock up your Bitcoin and get a loan. Yeah.
Well, a certain percentage of those loans are going to default, whether it's 1%, 5%, 10%, or 30%. They're going to default, which means he gets to do what?
Collect some money on it?
No, he gets to collect your Bitcoin, dude. Like, he gets to take your Bitcoin from you. The Bitcoin that you put up there as collateral, he gets to keep after you default on your loan. So you go, hey, what's a cool way to acquire resources in a competitive resource capture game? What better way than to give people a gambling outlet where they can just give you their Bitcoin because they're baboons. You go, oh, okay. So, I mean, if I were a Bitcoiner and I was looking at things in that type of light and I said, hey, it's a competitive resource capture game and my job in life is to capture and control as many resources as possible. And right now, the most valuable resource on earth is Bitcoin. What's the easiest way for me to get more of that stuff? Oh, just have people give it to me because they're dumb. I mean, it's like, it's kind of a no-brainer play. But then I'm certainly not going to come out and say that out loud. I'm not going to be at the head of my new treasury company and go, hey, my job here is to make sure that at least 20% of you guys get wrecked so I can take your Bitcoin from you. That's our business plan. Right? I'm going to come in and go, hey, I'm a Bitcoiner and freedom money and freedom tech and yada, 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 yada. I'm going to play 100% the Bitcoin maxi role. And in the background, I'm going to be setting up a system where I get to take more Bitcoin from you. So,
right. Well, and so at one level, if I'm going to think silver lining around all that, it is Bitcoin's roots starting to capture more of the traditional finance model, and people in the TradFi model or mindset can now do that through Bitcoin. And so instead of doing another standard type of a loan, you can leverage your Bitcoin if that's something you need or want to do. So you're going to pay some interest on that. Maybe there's some strategy around that. Maybe you need that money for something and it betters your life. Hopefully people approach that intelligently. There's baboons, like you said, that are just like, thinking I'm going to capture more. And what's happening is they're getting captured more. So,
yeah, well, I mean, there is no feasible way. Like when I hear that, I just go like I shudder to my core because I go, oh, okay. So I'm going to take the most valuable resource ever, the most scarce asset in the world, as the title of the episode says.
yeah.
And then I'm going to lever that so I can go buy some fiat junk. You go, huh? Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Like it sounds to me like it would be a better plan to just go rob a bank because at least you're taking less risk that way. Or just go find some fiat hustle or something. Do something else. Go work 3 jobs at Pizza Hut and do DoorDash. I don't know, but don't sell your stack, and certainly don't give it to some custodian. And as our good friend Travis pointed out the other day, it turns out it's very, very difficult to lever your Bitcoin if you don't give up custody because no one wants to see your little map of things. They go, see, look, here's all the wallets I control. And they go, okay, so what happens when you default? Where does that wallet go exactly? Oh, I might have lost that in a boating accident. Like there's zero chance anyone's going to loan you anything against your Bitcoin unless they're holding the keys to the coin because it doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't loan you any money off you promising to give me the Bitcoin back if you default on the loan. That would be dumb. So the smart thing to do is to go, well, I have to put this on Coinbase now. So Coinbase custodies it. And then when I default and I can't pay it back and life happens and everything gets screwed up, my loan company, the bank, the whatever that made this little trash fiat loan so I could get by or pay my bills or fix my car or add my thing or do my life or whatever it is, are going to go and sue to take custody of that Bitcoin. And then the bank's going to go, oh, well, we've got a legal process service right here that says we need to give them the Bitcoin. Here you go. And so Coinbase will give it to them and then you'll lose your Bitcoin. Or you just have them custody it themselves, or you give it to someone like, 21 or whatever, and somebody somewhere is going to be controlling your keys. And if it's not your keys, it's not your Bitcoin.
Right.
And the second you give up those keys, you've just given up the most scarce asset in the world. So you can get some fiat cuck bucks so you can go do fiat cuck buck things. Here's an alternate path. How about scale down your life? How about stop worrying about like buying a bunch of junk and garbage and stop worrying about all the nonsense, live like a pauper and stack like a king. That's my advice.
Good one. Yeah.
I'm still ranting. Look at me go, dude. I'm just all
good.
fired up today.
These are good. These are good clips. On the mining front, one big piece of news in the Bitcoin world. So Jack Dorsey's one of his new innovations in the space. I know he was looking at mining and technology and how we say how it's built in the U.S. or is done more efficiently or is done, say, ethically. What's his company called? Or it's called Rig. Rig, I
I
believe.
actually wasn't even listening to what you were saying. I was reading Johnny's comment. I'm sorry for it.
Oh yeah. Well,
well, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh yeah, the LA Zoo primate enclosure where like you can see all the gorillas like sitting there smoking and like playing gambling in the corner and stuff. Yeah.
well, maybe you can relate.
Drinking booze. Anyway.
LA, LA.
Yeah. Oh, I know LA. Anyway, I'm sorry, Fritz. What were you saying, man? I literally like was just like so focused on trying to be funny about the LA Zoo primate enclosure.
Yeah. Well, I figured you can relate on that one. The LA Zoo.
And being a baboon.
Yeah. I'm a Bitcoin ape, a Bitcoin baboon. Yes. So Dorsey, Dorsey's got a new, if you call it, I guess I'd call it a company. I think it's under the umbrella of Block, sort of like, what he's done with Square and some other things. He's got Rig, and Rig has potentially a 30% higher efficiency of mining compute and modular ways that you can plug in and unplug mining rigs. And this theoretically, I don't know all the details about it, of course, but the software and the things you do if you're going to run miners is that, when you're maintaining that or running that, you're getting the best compute you can get. It's very modular. Now, price point, I have no idea. It's probably a high commodity mining rig, but it sounds like an innovation to me that can, I think they're trying to get it done in America and have it built and innovated from the U.S. Seems like a good tech development.
Well, here, let me play a little. I'm going to stay on my soapbox for a little while. So, the guy who censored the internet public square for the better part of a decade, that just kowtowed to every DEI nonsense idea in the world, censored conservative voices, censored valid information, all that kind of stuff, has now launched himself, is rebranding himself as like the freedom guy, who's now launched to some company that's got a 30% efficiency gain over every other miner on planet Earth. Huh. Well, if that's true, why wouldn't you just keep your mouth shut and then just get to work? Because that sales pitch is to raise money. Like that's all he's doing right now. It's a fundraising apparatus. That's a sales pitch. And that's to get people to go, ooh, I want to invest in that thing. Ooh, I want a piece. Right. I kind of like the name Rig because it sounds like it's rigged, but, I mean, like I've heard now the sales narrative from like so many times. You just kind of go, hey, new innovation, new this. I mean, it's all over the AI space. Like we're gonna do blah blah blah. Like, but they're just collecting. It's the .com boom, and it's all. I mean, like think about all the promises you heard during the .com boom. How many of those panned out? 3. Like eBay and Amazon. So like you hear all these AI promises. Like how many of those do you think are going to pan out? Probably 3 or maybe 4. All the rest are going to get burnt, and so like some guy comes along and says, hey, I've got this revolutionary mining, yada 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 yada. Like the easiest way to do that is keep it private, get private equity, and then just go make yourself a boatload of fiat bucks. But since they're not doing that, since he's instead going public and making all these public claims so he can get some public money, it just sounds like another way to sponge up some investor cash and then gamble on your idea and see if it works or not. So that's the game. That's the game they all play. I got an amazing idea. Give me some money and I'll show you how it works. And that's it. That's the whole hustle right there. Got a great idea. Give me some money. I'll show you how it works. And
I totally get it. Johnny's comment. I've heard this a lot from people who we saw how Twitter went and the capture that occurred there. If I'm to be more hopeful or I don't know what Jack Dorsey thinks about or what his motivations are these days. My thought was that he learned a lot from what he saw. And I saw him tweet about this once, is that somebody was trashing him about Twitter and like, yeah, you're the cancel guy.
Yeah.
And valid. I think after that, he went in good on and hard on, okay, well, what's the solution? And he's into Nostr. He's into Bitcoin. And if perhaps he learned from that, like he was young, he was naive to the nature of the FBI, the CIA, the government capture game, or the politics of a business, a board, being the CEO, being whatever, like thinking you're in charge of stuff, and then realizing, oh my gosh, this is out of my hands, and I'm out, I'm out, and that maybe he learned from that.
I would ascribe zero probability to that idea.
Mm.
Like, think about it like this. Like, that guy, what's he worth today? What's Jack?
Billions. I don't
Yeah,
know.
billions. So you mean after he extracted billions of dollars in resources from people by doing exactly the thing that you're saying he just sort of bungled through, now he's suddenly rebranding himself as the freedom guy? You go, well, it would have been cool to see you rebrand yourself when it mattered, when there was a risk, when you could have put some, like, you want to make a statement and go, I'm the freedom guy. Well, put up your dukes in the fight, not after you've already left the fight and cashed out. You go, hey, I
Yeah.
cashed in on being the cancel guy. Now I want to cash in on being the freedom guy. It's like, okay, I was just a naive kid back then. Oh, you're the naive kid that was running the $40 billion, social media empire? Huh. How naive can you be for how long? Like,
Right.
I mean, it's impossible. You're in the room with these people. They are sitting there talking to you all the time. If you are not aware of it, then you're just an astronomically stupid person, right? So it'd be like saying like Trump is just like, oh, I didn't understand. Oh, there's a war on. I didn't know that. Oh, gee, what? Oh, what? Someone's invading. So I didn't know that. I'm just the president. I was just first time president. I didn't realize. Blah 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 blah. I was like, no, dude, the game's going on all around you. You know the game. You were a part and parcel of coming up with those policies that said, hey, we should get 30% of our staff to be, oh, I don't know, people from the intelligence community, and we're going to run this entire department that's devoted solely to censoring content and pushing political narratives, and I'm going to be the forefront of that. And I just didn't know it was happening. That's that's Nazi war crimes trial kind of shit, right? Like, oh, I was just following orders. I just didn't know. I didn't realize they were going to do all these horrible things. I was just there just collecting checks and being a happy-go-lucky beardo. So, if he learned his lesson, quote unquote, I go, well, he extracted a lot of resources on the way out the door. Not to mention that whole company, like when Elon Musk first was buying it, remember when he reneged on the deal? It's
Right.
because like 40% of the traffic was bots. So not only was this guy part of cancel culture, he was also part of a fraudulent company. He fraudulently inflated the value of Twitter by allowing bots to run rampant on that platform, so it could look like there's actual traffic engagement when there was none, right? Or there was 60% less or 40% less than what's actually there. And then Elon Musk pointed it out, and then Elon Musk bought it anyway because he just wanted it for the AI training data. He doesn't give a shit about social media, I think. I don't know Elon Musk. But
Yeah. I think Elon cares in various ways, but then see, that's one thing you'd say about Elon is that he shows courage and he'll throw right out there where he's at. If it's true. I mean, I don't know what's real with some of these people, but he'll throw it out there and he may be wrong. And then he'll change paths. Like he's all in on Trump. Okay. He's out on Trump. He's out there with it. Whereas Dorsey is aloof. And I think what would help Dorsey's case is if he does have these principles, put it out there. Tell us, let us know. Give us, I mean, if you're a guidepost, tell us that instead of like, well, here's a company that does this thing and it's cool. And then I'm sort of interpreting, I'm hoping the motivations are good. I think they are, but I don't hear it all the time. So,
well, I would just trace back to my core thesis in the entirety of the world. The name of the game is competitive resource capture. There are people that are actively and consistently trying to capture and control more resources. You and I are resources. Jack Dorsey is a resource capturer. Elon Musk is a resource capturer. So if Jack Dorsey is saying something to you that you go, yeah, that sounds like a pretty guy, I kind of like this guy, like you're just following a new farmer. If Elon Musk is saying something, you go, oh yeah, I kind of believe in this guy, is like, that's a different farmer. If you're buying into the Trump narrative, you go, oh, there's a third farmer. But all these people are farming you at the end of the day. At the end of that day, also, they're still getting their meat and eggs, and they don't give a flying hoot about whether you believe them or not. They're just pushing the thing that's going to allow them to capture and control more resources. That's the core of the game. So I put zero faith. I am 100% don't trust verify, and I cannot verify anything these guys say or do at all. I have no mechanism to do that. So that means I just have to inherently not trust. I just go, yep, I don't care what you're saying. It's probably bullshit. And until there's some way for me to verify what's going on in Elon Musk's brain, I have no way to trust that man. If there's some way for me to verify what's going on in Jack Dorsey's brain, I have no way, zero way to trust that man. And I have a lot of evidence to the contrary. I go, well, you can say you're doing all these great things. You can say you're the new Freedom Maxi, and you can say, and you can be the aloof fucking Birkenstocks Beardo guy. But I go, well, while you're Birkenstocks Beardo guy, you're also deeply in bed with the CIA and the NSA. So I don't know if I trust what you're saying, dude.
Thank you for watching this video. This is just a short clip from our full episode. So if you'd like to enjoy more entertaining wisdom found in our podcasts in their full context, just click a link in the corner. We are always sharing our big ideas on Bitcoin Liberty Live.